The countries of the Horn of Africa contain over half of Africa's livestock, underpinning the livelihoods of some 60 million people. Nowhere in the world do so many depend so heavily on their animals, nor in so many ways. For wealthier people, wealth is often expressed in terms of the livestock they own. Livestock provide them the opportunity to make a good living selling produce in the local market or exporting their animals to the Arab Peninsula.
ያው حزي እቶት ለነ ጻባ እስከ 50 ሊትሮ ማዓልቲ እዝረክብ ካኡ ናሸጥኹ ናይ ባዕሌን አብራይ ዝደፍእ ናይ ገዛይ እኽሊ ይኹን ወይ ከዓ ዘይቲ ለድሌን ነገር አስፈይዛ ካብአን የዘማለ ማለት ይኻሊእ ስራሕ ይብለይ ለዚ እንዳስጋ ንግድውን ካብናተን ተሸጠ ጻባ ልጥቀም ማለት ይመናገጃይ ካው ሸጠን ዘይ ደል ደማ ያው ቁሙጣት እዩ ቁሙጥ ንብረት እዩ ቁሙጥ ገንዘብ እዩ ሃፍቲ እዩ
But selling animals or keeping specialized breeds to produce meat or milk, this tends to be the domain of better off people, and particularly of men. Although Tadele Mezgebe now does well for himself selling meat and milk, this was not always the case. For many years, while still struggling to develop his business, the last thing he would do would be to sell his animals. Quite the opposite. He needed to hang on to them and build up his herd. Only by accumulating rather than selling could he hope to become a businessman.
መጀመሪያ بالغاحيه ገዚአ ሓንቲ ለሕሚ ምስ ገዛኹ ካው ንሳና ራዋኹ از 4 ለዋን ማለት እዩ 4 ከዓ ሸይጠ ተጠቂመ ካው ስጋ ከዓ በኸፍትና ጠርኹና ደለኹ ወይ ከዓ ደለውና ገዛኹ የልሸይጠ
To the people of East Africa, livestock is not simply something to be sold. It is far more than that. It is a means of saving and accumulating wealth. It is both an insurance policy and a means of transport. It provides labour, food and fuel.
Cho cái bờ tận tận tàu đấy, cái cho cái pa tam kare ta na dua terca na do namar.
Deeply embedded in the cultures of the region's peoples, not a deal is done nor a wedding celebrated without livestock changing hands. Seen by many outsiders as a waste of time and money, exchanging livestock in this way forges social bonds, providing the resilience through which communities survive and thrive in some of the world's harshest environments. In so many ways, livestock is life, valuable to all, but absolutely indispensable to the poor and to women.
أنا سؤال جميتهم اليوم عصرت خلت عمتهم خدمتهم خذ أنا بوتو جنزب لا عدقنا كافتو فتحوا لهم سقينا جنزب عدقنا خذ عدقة أو عر ميو خلت سلسلة أجع جيرة كأو سقي كان علي القرون يرمني جعرة جيرة هذا اللي حرسهم.
In contrast to better-off men who are well-placed to sell surplus animals in the market, women and poor men both use their livestock for different purposes. Although they keep livestock, women may not make decisions about what or when to sell. In contrast to men who are more inclined to look to the market, women will usually manage their animals first and foremost to ensure the family is well fed. Women will often keep smaller stock, sheep, goats, poultry, whereas the men will look after the cattle and camels. When women are left to manage livestock alone, either because they are widowed or because men are often forced to leave in the face of drought, they may be forced to take on the work of men as well as their usual duties, or options may simply be closed off to them. Although this can be enough to tip them into poverty, many will successfully use livestock to maintain their livelihoods.
أنا أبو وراتي أبا وراه ينينو يوسو جاري لون تكون تكلون ما غفورين لكسه هاي جاري كأيوم هانو خاتشو مخده وأنا دد دوتو فانتول فدي نمنا دالني نمنا جودة تاني أبسمان تشمه خوارسي فدي ختام أرسي فدي خانو ما بواتول فدي تلاني نلم خيجن تلاني فوسي فدي إلماني تمارسي فدي guddate sanga lafani kotal hara dadda itu fan rakkum la hiya.
If successful, they will grow their herd, selling only when there is a need and resisting the temptation to sell at other times, even if the market is good.
Ukubi tokkitin dufin ukubi si waan ufati nguya ni kundame na madufu wabeho rakonam tum bonum bonanu ra umatanamma am dibisani tani goga dunga komisan wargu jirtan kana belani marrin jiru garachinu rafite boninu rawbas
Dono china ke resta do semua kindi mangati jeng tanah do ngata na do na boka kerech niki nganginang nabo niki serkan niki nyala niki serkana niki nyana
kela le kana mata jaman jana idum golong ne dim gichu amin do na gichu na te na golong ma mo kara tong kojit na ko ne na won tare ko sota ke ninche na ke ninche sen arab
Governments in the region have been very successful at improving the market and increasing the price that farmers will get for their animals. Many farmers benefit from these, but not the poorer ones who are trying to avoid having to sell, and not the women who do not make decisions concerning the market. Indeed, improved commercialization has frequently resulted in women losing the ability to make decisions about the livestock they traditionally keep to feed the family, as it is the men who take them to sell.
Mayo tu wina menjona pakai buku-buku yo. Ni ya tu wina doang enggak itu bulan agak dengan ni bare dah pakai itu belaka. Mata na iyo na tu buku dan ya tu nara na aku kulle nyoy mara kulle nai dim tungan nak itu anak tatanan. Tadu mak dakan apa kesaya na tu mana apa na gal tawa nyi dah na dau awak kena. Mata ne mekin dem da yul tungan na do ngala nya ka bang na min dem na tungan na meram.
Working through the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, the region's governments have been looking again at their livestock policies. They are seeing their traditional focus on production, marketing and exports has brought benefits to many, but not to poorer men and women to whom livestock performs even more valuable functions than generating income.
Working with IGAD, LPI, important lessons have been learned and consensus is being developed through the policy hub that there is need to change in development thinking and practice. And this is because there's empirical evidence that poverty and food insecurity is increasing in the region despite the huge livestock numbers.
They are starting to look at policies to maintain the health of the small stock that women keep. They see the need for technologies that relieve women's intense workload, freeing them to make the most of their livestock. They are committed to prioritizing those diseases that are most damaging in preventing the poor from building their herd and those that hamper women in their attempts to use livestock to feed their families. They're starting to develop policies that respond to the livelihood needs of the poor and of women. They are building on the growing realization that good livestock development that capitalizes on livestock's unrivaled capacity for pulling women and men out of poverty, is not just about livestock. Good livestock development is about people.
Ayo Gawa ye yo nanyor. Kita jangan gua hang yo nanyor. Kita jangan gua hang yo nanyor. Aragang juga ye yan ko dang ko rom ni kara ko maroro se ye ko to kai. Ni kara ko do ti mo waran ni ngeta hang yo nanyor. Na jawal go ju. Na jawal